What up, Timmy's here. Now, here is my opening slash streaming segment where I talk about the films and series that are coming out this week, whether they be theater, streaming, etc. Now, this is, of course, the final week of August, so not really anything major coming out, because usually every last week, like, pretty much the major summer movie season technically is over. But, the end of August, usually just, they throw out just whatever. So, here are the films that are coming out this week. All right, we got the horror film Afraid. Now, I'm really ready to just like I'm really ready to say that it's probably gonna end up being terrible. But I admit the trailer does look really good. Because I mean Blumhouse, I love Blumhouse, but the last other than Five Nights at Freddy, which I enjoyed, their films this year hasn't been the best. They started the year off with that movie Night Swim. That was awful. Then they did that imaginary film, which was just also terrible. Now also they have Speak No Evil, which looks interesting, and this actually does look intriguing. It stars John Cho, Catherine Waterston, and the film follows a family whose smart home AI increasingly interjects itself into their lives. So this is of course AI gone terrible. And the trailer does look really creepy. Looks interesting. Definitely getting a little bit of like a Megan or maybe Megan meets remember that like Disney Channel movie Smart House, occasions ago back in like the early 2000s. Definitely getting definitely feels like Megan meets Smart House in a way. So I'm hoping that's a good one because the last time John Cho had a film from Sony that got released late August was Searching. So I'm hoping this is the next Searching and not the next I don't know, and not the next Grudge because he was also in the Grudge from 2020. So all right, now a film that I'm pretty sure is going to be terrible because it looks bad is the Ronald Reagan biopic Reagan. Now this stars Dennis Quaid as Ronald Reagan and is about his life from his childhood to his years as president of the United States, told by Victor Ivanov, a former KGB agent. Now, this is directed by Sean McNamara, who's done some hits and misses. Like, some of his good stuff I've enjoyed was that Bethany Hamilton movie that got released back in 2011 called Soul Surfer. He also did the Bratz movie. I believe he did that Casper Wendy movie back in with Hilary Duff, if I'm not mistaken. But he also did some other not so good stuff too, like that King's Daughter film with Pierce Brosnan. That was terrible. This is probably going to be terrible. This is probably going to be a terrible movie because it does not look so good. I mean, Ronald Reagan. It's crazy we barely had biopics about Ronald Reagan. He's obviously one of the most iconic presidents of all time, and I'm hoping this is good because we need a really good Ronald Reagan biopic, but nothing about really looks that good. All right, we also got the film You Gotta Believe, which is from director Ty Roberts, who directed a nice little sports film a couple years back called 12 Mighty Orphans. This also stars Luke Wilson and Greg Kinnear. Oh, and top off, it has the kid who plays Smalls from the Sandlots, so no stranger to baseball there. Here's what the film's about. After dedicating this session to a teammate's ailing father, a group of underdogs youth baseball players makes it all the way to the 2002 Little League World Series, culminating in a record-breaking showdown. And the trailer, I'm not really much of a sports guy. I've mentioned this before. I've of course watched baseball here and there. I mean, most I got a little bit into baseball last year because I was working for XM at the time, so there's that. But I do love a good sports film, and I really do quite like baseball movies. Whether it's the Sandlots, whether it's a League of Their Own, like who does not love a good baseball film? So I'm intrigued to see this. You got Luke Wilson, who's always great. Greg Kinnear is always good. So I'm intrigued to see this. All right, now stuff coming to streaming. We really don't have a whole lot coming to streaming, believe it or not. We got the Lee Daniels horror film, The Deliverance. Now you might know Lee Daniels directed stuff like Precious. He did that Billie Holiday film with Andre Day a couple years back. He did The Butler, which The Butler's speaking of presidents, by the way. The Butler is a really good one. All right, this also stars the likes of Andra Day, Anjanae Ellis Taylor, Monique, Omar Epps, Glenn Close. Really nice to see Monique back on screen because if you guys know, she actually won her Oscar for Precious. Now, I really don't think she's going to win her Oscar for this, but you know. The Deliverance is about a family living in a home in Indiana discovers strange demonic occurrences that convince them and the community that the house is a partial to HE double hockey sticks. Now you also got Caleb McLaughlin, who you might know from Stranger Things. I like Lee Daniels, so I'll watch this because of him. It looks pretty creepy. Definitely getting a little bit of like an Exorcist vibe, Omen vibe here. So I'm intrigued to see this point premieres. It looks like me really good. All right, also on Netflix we got Adam Sandler Love You, which is of course a comedy special with Adam Sandler, also directed by his Uncut Gems director Josh Safdie. This will probably hold me until he actually makes that speak of baseball, that baseball movie he was supposed to do, because it's been quite like, I mean, if you guys not seen Uncut Gems, really good. I'm really looking forward to see their like next narrative feature together. But while we wait to hearing more info about that, at least we got this to look forward to. And I mean, Adam Sandler's like his last comedy special, which was 100% Fresh, I think was called. So good. I mean, it, if you guys even actually like during that special, he also did that Chris Farley song, which I'm not gonna lie. If you guys had not seen, if you guys ever want to listen to his Chris Farley song, highly recommend that. It'll definitely put you to tears. But this I'm intrigued to see what premieres. All right, also on now on Peacock we got the Gary Coleman documentary Gary, which of course you might know Gary Coleman from from Different Strokes fame. Sadly, he passed away all the way back in 2010. And I'm actually intrigued to see this. I've always loved Gary Coleman. I still obviously listen for I was with Different Strokes was ahead of my time, but I did watch Different Strokes, like reruns and stuff. He was always great, and I always like remember when he had fun guest appearances on shows like Drake and Josh, My Wife and Kids. Like, who does not love Gary Coleman? R.I.P. Gary. Now we also got some other stuff coming out this week. Like we got the film City of Dreams, where Jesus is a young Mexican farmer who travels to LA with the promise of training at a soccer camp. However, when he realizes he's really been sold to a sweatshop to work really 18 hours a day, he devises a daring plan to escape the freedom. And the trailer for this looks interesting. It actually has that girl, Renetta Becca, who the name might not sound familiar, but she actually played Gabriella in last year's Saw X. So really nice to see her, more stuff here. It does look really intriguing. And you also have Jason Patrick is in this. You don't see him a whole lot. He's supposed to be in Terrifier 3, but so. Alright. Speaking of Exorcist, by the way, we got another Exorcism film out this week, which is, I believe is coming VOD if I'm not mistaken, for the Exorcism of Saint Patrick. A pastor takes a young gay teen to a cabin to perform conversion therapy. When the pastor goes too far, bullying the kid, the ghost of the victim returns to punish the pastor and avenge the deaths of so many other ghosts like him. Now, I saw the preview. This does look intriguing. It might be terrible, but I'm all for it. Alright, we also got a film called Bookworm, which stars Elijah Wood and Evil Dead Rise actress Nell Fisher. This is where 11-year-old Mildred's world is turned upside down when her strange father, the washed-up magician Strawwise, comes to look after her and agrees to take her camping to find a mythological beast known as the Centipede Panther. That could be interesting. Like, I like Elijah Wood. You don't really see him a lot nowadays, but maybe this could be an interesting one to check out. Alright, we also got a film called The Wasp, not to be confused with Ant-Man and the Wasp, by the way. This stars Naomi Harris, who you might know from the Bond films. She was in Moonlight. Now here's what the film, and also you got Natalie Dormer, who is in Captain America: First Avenger and Game of Thrones fame. Now, if you guys don't know much about the story for this, Carla and Heather meets up, having not spoken in years. But what Heather has to say has repercussions for both women. And the trailer, I admit, I did saw the preview for this. Didn't do anything for me. I love Naomi Harris. She's always terrific. Natalie Dormer's pretty good, but not about really fascinating. To be honest, so not really interested in that one. Oh, we got a film called Take My Hand, which is an Australian film starring Rhoda Mitchell. It's about a woman who moves back home to Australia following the sudden death of her husband and the loss of her job. Soon, a chance encounter with her high school sweetheart gives her renewed hope and love as she battles multiple sclerosis. Rhoda Mitchell is always great. Like, remember she was in like the Silent Hill movie. I first took notice of her when she had popped up in Phone Booth. Like, who doesn't love Rhoda Mitchell, right? So, always cool to see her and stuff. We also got something called Tokyo Cowboy, where a brash businessman Hadaki convinces his Tokyo boss he can turn a profitless Montana cattle ranch into a premier performing assess. However, when his Japanese Wagyu beef expert fails him, Hadaki is poised to fail unless he identifies a missing element that's key to transforming the transformation himself. So I don't know, that could be interesting. All right, we also got a film called 1992, which of course I was born in 1992, so this has a little sort of interesting me there. Now this is actually about the 1992 riots, though the LA riots. This stars the likes of Tyrese Gibson, the late Ray Liotta in his final film, Scott Eastwood, Dylan Arnold, and it's where Mercer, played by Tyrese Gibson, is desperately trying to rebuild his life and his relationship with his son amidst the turbulence. Now, this is directed by Errol Froman, who directed that Micah Shannon movie, The Iceman, which was so good if you guys haven't seen that. I mean, this could be interesting. The trailer looks pretty cool. Uh, I remember like this was supposed to be an Ice Cube and like a movie with Ice Cube and his son at one point, but I guess that fell through. So yeah, I mean, maybe it'll be a good one, but we'll see. Alright, we also got a film called Across the River and Into the Trees, starring Leah Schreiber, Josh Hutcherson, and Danny Houston, who, by the way, Danny Houston really needs a new agent. Like, this year has been a terrible year for the poor guy. He was in the recent Horizon film, which flopped. He was just the villain in The Crow this month. Flop and Terror. Both movies are literally in my top 10 worst films of the year. So poor Danny Houston. Like, remember Danny Houston was also in like Wonder Woman? And the poor guy needs a new agent. Like, he is supposed to be in that Naked Gun reboot. Maybe he'll be better than that, but we'll see. Now, as for this, it stars Leah Schreiber, who plays American Army Colonel Richard Cantwell, who confronts the news of his terminal illness with stoic indifferences and enlists a military driver for presumably his final hunting trip and visit to Venice. Along the way, Cantwell has a chance encounter with a young cadet, and it does look intriguing. I mean, I love Leah Schreiber. Like, I first noticed Leah Schreiber when, of course, he was Con Weary in the first Scream. He obviously Ray Donovan. Like, who doesn't love Leah Schreiber, right? So it could be interesting to check out. Now, a film I'm pretty sure is going to be terrible because of who the director is First Chef. Oh boy. Now, First Chef is set in New York City's and follows a veteran NYPD officer from Brooklyn who reluctantly agrees to take in a new female recruit from Atlanta as his partner. They spend the next 12 hours patrolling the city's dangerous street, dealing with violent crimes, one of which revolves around a mob killing that endangers their lives. Now, this is actually directed by Obo. Now, if you guys know the name Obo, he's directed some of the pretty much some of the worst films of all time. He did Alone in the Dark. He did Rampage, not to be confused with the Dwayne Johnson one. Another Rampage. He also did like what he said some. Oh yeah, In Name of the King and all. But despite him like doing some pretty terrible films, the trailer for this actually doesn't look bad. It does look pretty fun. Definitely, getting a little bit of like a Law and Order or Training Day vibe here. I'll probably give it a go, but I'm obviously expecting terrible because it's Obo. So hey, I'll tell you something. If this movie, if I go watch this film and it's better than The Crow or Borderlands, those directors did something wrong. If a movie directed by Obo is better than their films, so yeah. All right, we also got something called The Falling Star, where a former activist, Dark Past, finally catches up with him. With one arrive, Vigilante hunts him down. However, on the appearance of his doppelganger, seems to offer the perfect decoy. That could be interesting. Now, on the TV front, we got Only Murders in the Building Season 4 coming to Hulu, which I cannot wait for. You got Melissa McCartney, who's actually playing Steve Martin's sister. That's pretty cool. You got Eugene Levy's in this, Camille Nanjiani, Zach Galifianakis. I think this season might become better than the first three seasons. To be honest, like the cast has got to be the best cast out of the season. So hopefully season 4 will be good, but we'll see. All right. We also got Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power season 2, which I'm interested in. I mean, I thought the first season was underwhelming, but the trailers for season 2 have looked decent, so I'll give this one a go. We also got Terminator Zero, which is of course the Terminator anime series, which does look really intriguing. And, speaking of screen, by the way, you got Timothy Olyphant playing the Terminator, so sign me up with that one. And last but not least, we got Chaos, which stars Jeff Goldblum as Zeus, which that all you got to tell me. This is of course pretty much like a Greek mythology series that revolves around three humans as they discover their connection to each other and to a long-standing ancient prophecy. And you of course have characters by the likes of Zeus, Medusa, and you got some really intriguing mythology characters in this. I'm intrigued to see this. It does look a lot of fun. Jeff Goldblum as Zeus is something I never knew I needed, so I'm hoping for some good stuff with this, but we'll see. But that's pretty much it there. Let me leave you guys. Which of these films or series are you interested in? Are you interested in Afraid, Reagan, Terminator, etc.? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Sammy.